I actually didn't grow up anywhere close to the mountains, and yet they are my favorite place to be, my second home, the place where I can really disconnect and just be in the moment. I love the challenges we face out there and the discomfort we voluntarily put ourselves in. The mountains can make us feel so strong, and at the same time they can make us feel so small. My adventures have really shaped the person I am today, and I have accomplished things I never thought I was capable of, and I will keep these memories forever in my heart. My grandfather has always been a huge inspiration and probably the root for my passion for the outdoors. He went hiking in some of the most beautiful places in the world, and him telling these stories just made me want to make some memories like that myself. My family always spent occasional skiing trips in the mountains, and as a kid I didn't really think about my environment much. In fact, I can barely remember any emotion connected to these trips until I was 14 to 15 years old. That was the first time I really recognized the beauty of the mountains, and I was so fascinated that I wanted to paint this big rocky wall just opposite of the hut that we stayed in. And that's really how I feel that something is special to me. I want to paint it, I want to put it down and capture it forever. I remember by the end of this trip, when we drove home, I looked through the window of the car and I had tears in my eyes. I just didn't want to go, and it made me so emotional. I think that was the point. I realized I feel like I just really belong here and that I will come back. And a few years later I moved to the mountains, and I've never gone back ever since. After I moved to Austria, I went hiking a lot because it's the most accessible thing to do. And I love the slow pace, enjoying the views and just wandering around. It kind of feels like meditation sometimes. And I have always had this big dream since I was a kid. In fact, the biggest dream I've ever had in my whole life, and that is hiking from Mexico to Canada. So I started getting into backpacking and went on some multi-day hikes with my mom and my friends, and it has really strengthened my love for nature and the outdoors. The trips got longer, several hundred kilometers to 1,000, and by spending many nights in the tent, it made me overcome some of my greatest fears. I went to really remote places and also suffered a bit out there. And I also made so many friends along the way that I now try to meet up with at least once a year, and every time we see each other, it's like the sun is lighting up inside of me because we made so many nice memories on the trails together. We suffered through the worst snowstorms or being sick together, and those things just connect you more than anything I've experienced before. One of my favorite things to do is just climbing a mountain with my friends and enjoying the view with a cup of coffee and making even more memories that will last forever.